Hello, Chelsea fans. Welcome back to the Blues Report, and remember to subscribe, then enjoy your news. Let's dive in. Alejandro Garnacho's journey to Chelsea. A new blue dawn. In the summer of 2025, Chelsea Football Club found itself once again at a crossroads. The London Giants, whose history was gilded with both triumph and turmoil, were in search of fresh identity. The Todd Boehly-led ownership had invested heavily since taking over, pouring resources into one of the youngest squads in European football. But there remained a void. A winger who could electrify Stamford Bridge, a player who could turn defenders inside out and deliver a spark in crucial moments. That answer, many believed, had arrived in the form of Alejandro Garnacho, the fearless young Argentine from Manchester United. His transfer to Chelsea was one of the most talked-about moves of the decade, a deal that seemed impossible for months, but eventually materialized amid tension, negotiations, and sheer determination on the part of both the player and his new club. Early whispers for years, Garnacho was seen as the crown jewel of United's youth system, nurtured and celebrated by the Old Trafford faithful. His speed, flair, and audacity reminded many of the club's great wingers of the past. Yet by the end of the 2024-25 season, a cloud of uncertainty surrounded him. United's managerial instability and tactical inconsistency had left the winger frustrated. Despite moments of brilliance, he felt his growth was being stifled. Chelsea's scouts had been monitoring him for months. Reports were filed detailing his off-the-ball runs, his stamina, his ability to shift games in one-on-one situations. But beyond the numbers, there was recognition of something deeper. Garnacho carried the aura of a player unafraid of the spotlight, someone who thrived when the crowd roared loudest. Stamford Bridge, in its search for a new talisman, seemed the perfect stage. Negotiations behind closed doors. The saga began in late May, shortly after the season ended. Rumors broke out in Spanish and Argentine press outlets that Garnacho's camp had held discreet meetings with Chelsea representatives in Madrid. At first, many dismissed it as speculation. Surely Manchester United would never sell such a prized asset to a direct Premier League rival. But the truth was more complex. United faced financial fair play pressure after years of heavy spending, and Garnacho's stock was sky high. Chelsea's sporting directors sensed the opportunity and made an audacious move. The first bid, rumored to be in the region of 70 million, was swiftly rejected. Yet the London club persisted, knowing that Garnacho himself was increasingly open to a switch. Behind the scenes, the winger had spoken to close friends about his admiration for Chelsea's young, fearless squad. He saw in them a reflection of himself, hungry, ambitious, unafraid of the hard road. What convinced him further was the club's long-term vision. They promised him not just a place in the squad, but a central role in their project, building a team around fearless youth with Garnacho as its beating heart. By mid-July, a breakthrough was reached. A package worth close to 95 million, including add-ons linked to appearances and trophies, was agreed. The footballing world exploded in reaction. Chelsea had not just bought a player, they had snatched one of United's brightest hopes and delivered a psychological blow to their rivals. The presentation at Stamford Bridge. When Garnacho finally walked out onto the Stamford Bridge pitch for his unveiling, draped in Chelsea blue, thousands of fans filled the stands to witness the beginning of a new chapter. He waved the shirt proudly, the name Garnacho 17 emblazoned on the back. His first words resonated. "I came here because I believe in this project. Chelsea is building something special, and I want to be part of a new era for this great club." The roar from the crowd was deafening. For Chelsea supporters, still yearning for a true attacking hero, Garnacho represented hope. Early training sessions within days, Garnacho was at Cobham, Chelsea's state-of-the-art training ground. His new teammates welcomed him with warmth, though there was an unspoken edge of competition. Every player knew that his arrival raised the standard. On the training pitch, he impressed immediately. His trademark acceleration left defenders scrambling, while his willingness to track back and press showcased the kind of work ethic managers crave. Teammates like Enzo Fernandez, a fellow Argentine, quickly bonded with him, often staying late after training to practice passing combinations and set-piece routines. The coaching staff marveled at his adaptability. Despite arriving from a rival, he integrated seamlessly, laughing during rondos, sharing stories with the Spanish-speaking core of the squad, and striking up a promising on-field connection with Chelsea's central striker. The debut match, the date of his competitive debut, was circled in every Chelsea fan's calendar. A clash against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. The anticipation was palpable, with the stadium packed well before kickoff. Garnacho, wearing the number 17, began on the left flank. From the opening whistle, he electrified the game. His very first touch was a sharp burst past Ben White, drawing roars from the home crowd. His dribbles were fearless, his confidence infectious. By the 35th minute, he had already provided his first assist, cutting inside and threading a pass through to the striker, who finished with aplomb. Though Chelsea did not win the game outright, the focus was firmly on their new signing. Newspapers the next day splashed his photo across the back pages. Garnacho lights up the bridge. Media reactions and fan fever. The move sparked endless debate. United legends lamented the club's decision to let him go, branding it a mistake that would haunt them for years. Pundits dissected his every move, questioning whether Chelsea could protect him from the pressures that came with such a high transfer fee. But within Chelsea's fan base, the mood was euphoric. Social media trended with "Ihang, welcome Garnacho," and kids lined up outside the megastore to buy his shirt. His name began echoing in chants across Stamford Bridge. "Ale, ale, ale Garnacho!" It was clear, Chelsea had a new idol. Building Chelsea's future. As the season unfolded, Garnacho became more than just an exciting new signing. He was pivotal to Chelsea's resurgence. His partnership with Enzo Fernandez blossomed, while his chemistry with the right-sided winger provided Chelsea with devastating width. Matches that once seemed lost were suddenly turned by a flash of brilliance. A solo run against West Ham, a curling finish against Tottenham, a last-minute assist versus Newcastle. Each moment built his legend, weaving him deeper into Chelsea's fabric. What set him apart was not only his attacking flair, but also his relentless energy. He pressed high, he chased lost causes, and he celebrated every team goal as though it were his own. The fans adored him, not just for his talent, but for his spirit. The rivalry ignited. Perhaps the most emotional fixture of the season was his first return to Old Trafford wearing Chelsea blue. The atmosphere was charged, the boos thunderous every time he touched the ball. Yet, in the 67th minute, he silenced the stadium. Picking up the ball near the halfway line, he danced past two defenders and unleashed a strike into the far corner. He didn't celebrate wildly, just raised his arms calmly, as if to declare that destiny had brought him here. For Chelsea fans, it was a moment etched in history. For Manchester United, it was a bitter reminder of what they had lost. Beyond the pitch. Off the field, Garnacho embraced his new life in London. He was often spotted exploring the city with his family, settling into a home not far from Cobham. His connection with the Argentine community in the city grew, and he frequently spoke of how Enzo and other Spanish-speaking teammates had made his transition smooth. Chelsea's media team capitalized on his charisma, featuring him in promotional campaigns, interviews, and behind-the-scenes content. His natural confidence in front of the camera, combined with his fiery on-pitch persona, made him a marketable star. The symbol of a new era. By the end of his first season, it was clear that Garnacho was more than a signing, he was a symbol. He embodied Chelsea's philosophy of youth, fearlessness, and ambition. While trophies would still take time, the sight of Garnacho darting down the wing gave fans belief that the club's future was bright. At Stamford Bridge, murals of him began appearing near Fulham Road. His face, once associated with Old Trafford's potential, now belonged to Chelsea's vision. For a club in constant search of identity after its historic changes, Garnacho had become the heartbeat. Conclusion. The story of Alejandro Garnacho's move to Chelsea is more than a transfer tale. It is about destiny, ambition, and transformation. From a restless young winger at Manchester United to the rising star of Stamford Bridge, his journey represents both personal courage and the enduring magnetism of Chelsea's project. As the 2025-26 season marched forward, one thing became certain. In Alejandro Garnacho, Chelsea had found not just a player, but a legend in the making. His runs, his goals, and his fearless spirit would define an era. For supporters, the chant now carried a promise of glory, echoing through the London night.